everyone, it's Andrea from Movers and Bakers. Today I'm going to share with you how I make my eggless cinnamon sugar donuts. These are beautiful, light and fluffy donuts covered in cinnamon sugar. Gorgeous. Let's get baking. Right, so to start with, I'm going to mix a couple of my wet ingredients together. I have some yogurt here and some milk. I'm going to put them together and give them a mix. And what that's going to do is that's going to make my buttermilk for my donuts. So I've just popped my milk into my yogurt pot and I'm just going to mix it all up to break the yogurt. And then we will set that aside and get on with the rest of it. And once you've broken your yogurt up and mixed that up together, it will look slightly thicker, and we're just going to set that aside while we sort out our dry ingredients. So into a nice large bowl, I'm going to sift my dry ingredients. I have some plain flour, baking powder, bicarbonate of soda, some cinnamon, and finally some salt. Don't forget you can find all the quantities of all these ingredients on my blog. Follow the link below this video and you can get to it. Now, the reason I'm doing eggless donuts is because there's actually been quite a lot of you who have messaged me to ask about making my donut recipes eggless. If you've not checked them out already, I have lots of donut recipes for you to have a look at. Check them out here. And I thought it was about time I shared something eggless. So here we are. Right, so now I have sifted all of those in. My final dry ingredient is my soft light brown sugar. So I'm going to pop that in as well. And then I'm just going to mix all my dry ingredients together. And while I'm giving this a mix is a great time to remind you to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Don't forget to get sharing as well. And once you have mixed all your dry ingredients together, we're going to add in our wet ingredients. So we're going to pop that buttermilk in that we made before. And alongside that, I'm also going to add in some melted butter. So I've melted this and just left it a little bit to cool down, just so it's not too hot, adding it in with my milky ingredients. So that's going in too. And my final ingredient is some vanilla. We're going to give it all a good mix. There's two things to remember that are really important with this. One is you don't want to overmix this batter at all. So you're mixing it until it's just combined. That's why I'm using a spatula rather than a whisk or anything like that. And the other thing is that this actually ends up being a bit thicker than my normal donut batter. It does work out really beautifully once it's baked, but don't be surprised to find that it's not very cake-like and that slightly runny mixture that you get from cakes, but it's slightly thicker than that. And once your mixture is done, it's time to put it into our donut pan. So I have my donut pan here. I have lightly greased each of the donut holes, and that's just going to help my donuts release really easily once they are baked. So that's done. I'm going to set that aside. And while I've been making this, I've had my oven preheating at 180 Celsius. That's 350 Fahrenheit for those of you who work in Fahrenheit. So the easiest way for me, I find, is to pipe my mixture into my donut holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a glass to help me today. I've got my piping bag. I've already cut the end of my piping bag off. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a fold just to make sure that none of it slips through while I'm filling my bag. I'm going to put that into my glass, as you can see, and just fold the top end open around my glass. And what that's done now is that's holding it for me, so I don't need to hold my piping bag. That's brilliant. So I can use both my hands to get my mixture out of my bowl. So we'll scoop that in and we'll pop it into your piping bag. Make sure you push it all the way down. And once you have got it all into your piping bag, we're going to bring the outside of the bag back up again, like so. And it's filled. So if you've never used a piping bag before, you want to make sure that you've closed the top end. So I squeeze it together and then I give it a little twist, and that also helps to push my mixture further down the bag. Time to fill these beauties. Now, because this mixture is quite stiff, you might actually find that it doesn't want to come off at the very end. So you can just push it down and then lift it and it should separate like that. So I'm going to fill these up, and then these are going to go into my oven. It's going to bake for 9 minutes, and I will see you on the other side to do the cinnamon sugar, the best bit. Hi, welcome back. So my donuts are baked and I have taken them out of the donut pan, and they are cold and ready to be decorated. So we're only going to use 3 ingredients. I have some melted butter. I have a bowl with some granulated sugar in. Now I like using granulated because I prefer the larger granules of sugar to caster sugar or anything like that. I just like the crunch that I get from that. So into my large bowl with sugar, I'm going to add my cinnamon to make it a cinnamon sugar. Then we're going to give that a bit of a mix. And that is all there is to your cinnamon sugar. So once that is really well mixed, like that, I'm going to use my melted butter. I'm going to brush it over my donuts. So we'll pick a donut. I'm going to brush it over the whole of my donut. Make sure you get all the way into the middle and around the edges. And the other side as well. And once you have coated your donut in butter, you're just going to drop it into your cinnamon sugar bowl and give it a bit of a wriggle. And that's just going to get the sugar all the way around and in the gaps. Flip it over if you want to as well. And there is my cinnamon sugar donut done. I'm going to do that with the rest of them, and we are ready to enjoy. And there you have it, lovely eggless cinnamon sugar donuts. Hope you've enjoyed this recipe. Don't forget to hit up like and subscribe if you haven't already, and do join me next time. Happy baking.